2024 is finally over. Thank God. It was a crazy year. I know I don't talk about myself a lot on this channel, but personally, a lot happened for me. I went through the lowest of lows, but also the highest of highs. Like, I saw my favorite artist twice, went to a Bridgerton screening, met so many new people, got a job, and turned 21. I also graduated early, which is a very scary thought, but it's also really exciting. I'm definitely more excited than nervous. And I also saw a ton of movies this year. My eyes hurt so bad. I actually got glasses, so that's a new thing too. But as the year came to a close, I was reflecting back on all the movies that came out this year and ranking them. I was considering making an entire video dedicated to that, so if you want to see it, let me know in the comments below. But one movie kept coming to mind over and over again: Anora. Going into this film, I don't know what I was expecting. I knew that it was getting crazy buzz online for months now. There was some controversy about the lack of intimacy coordinators and that Mikey Madison is absolutely phenomenal in this, but nothing, and I mean nothing, could have prepared me for what I was about to see. So let's talk about it. Disclaimer as usual, these are just my opinions. Feel free to comment yours, just remember to be respectful. Released on October 18th, 2024, the film is the story of Anora, or Annie. She's a 23-year-old Russian-American sex worker from Brooklyn who one day meets Ivan, the 21-year-old prodigal son of a Russian billionaire. Annie lives in a small house with her sister, while Ivan lives in his father's insane mansion whenever he's in New York. Annie wasn't waiting around for her Prince Charming to show up. She's just living her life, working 7 nights a week, bickering with her coworkers, and trying to make ends meet. On the other hand, Ivan has clearly never worked a day in his life. He just shows up literally out of nowhere and enlists Annie's services. The two hit it off and go on a crazy trip to Vegas where they spontaneously decide to get married. But their fairy tale comes to a crashing halt when Ivan's family learns about the marriage. I always knew of Sean Baker, but I've actually never seen his work before. Please don't unsubscribe. I know he's known for making films about marginalized groups and approaching it in a very empathetic lens. And now that I've seen Anora, I am definitely binge watching his other projects, cause holy shit. This movie is a fucking roller coaster. It has a lot of comedy, but also tragedy. The writing balances the two very well and leaves you with a heartbreaking ending that will feel like a punch in the gut. Actually, no, not even a punch. It'll feel like someone just shot you in the gut. I personally love how the film doesn't shy away from the topic of sex work. It's not like briefly mentioned or barely shown. It actually carries a lot of the plot and characters. The film also doesn't shy away from the high stakes of the situation. It's super engaging and definitely will get you off your phone. I can't believe we're doing that now, by the way. Like, scrolling on your phone while a movie plays in the back? Come on, guys, come on. Anora will grab your full attention. If the plot doesn't, then the characters definitely will. Speaking of the characters, oh my gosh, I am so excited for this category because I have so much to say, and who better to start with than Anora? The hype was right. Madison is incredibly insane. I am manifesting that Best Actress Oscar for her because she clearly deserves it. I've read articles and watched her interviews about her research for this character. Her whole thought process is so fascinating to me, and her ability to build this character from the ground up. Just give her the Oscar already. We don't need a ceremony. I'm giving her so much praise because the film doesn't really take that much time to slow down and have Annie verbally explain her thought process. Personally, that's not my criticism of the film, by the way. I'm just acknowledging that, and I actually prefer that. I know that some people have actually criticized the film for losing focus on Anora, that the plot kind of takes over and we drift away from who Anora is as a person. But I don't know, I'm actually kind of okay with the way it played out. As the story unfolds, we learn that Anora is pretty much powerless against Ivan's crazy rich family. They can literally destroy her and drag her family and friends down too, with just the wave of a hand. Anora knew that she was marrying someone rich, but she couldn't have expected how powerful they actually are. And so much is revealed and played out all at once. The Three Stooges all get inside the house, wrestle Anora, tie her up, and go on a crazy chase after Yvonne. Because this happens all at once and they also have limited time in their search for Yvonne, there isn't really time for Anora to stop and think, how am I actually feeling right now? The stakes are very, very high, and as a viewer, I was so fucking worried for her. Like, this girl is in so much danger, and I kept wondering when she was just going to break down, because Lord knows I would have done that by now. It's only in the rare moments of intimacy that we see Anora slightly crack, and it's up to the audience to be able to read Madison's face. That's not a hard task at all, by the way, because her expressions were saying more than dialogue ever could. Through Madison's performance, I was able to understand what was happening inside Anora's mind. Annie is a mask that Anora wears to protect herself. Annie has a very tough exterior and will not hold back. She also uses her naked body as a shield in some way. She doesn't like showing people that she's in pain in fear that it makes her weak. She also doesn't like talking about her past. And I feel like she doesn't like talking about her feelings in general. We don't know exactly what happened to her, but it's heavily implied that it wasn't good. She doesn't like being vulnerable, and that leads to difficulty in her personal relationships. Because of the work she does, she gets treated really badly by others, even her own coworkers. Annie is a mask that Anora uses to survive, but the crazy events in the film force the mask to crumble, and by the end, it all comes out. That ending scene will forever haunt me, by the way. The moment Annie was given genuine intimacy and kindness that wasn't paid for, she broke. All of the emotions of being humiliated, forced to get an annulment, and saying goodbye to the fairy tale come out all at once. I was in tears watching that scene, and I will lead Madison's Oscar campaign. Yvonne. Fuck this guy. He made me so mad. Grow up already, dude. Listen, that's just proof on how good of an actor he is. Like, he's always radiating this childlike wonder and energy that is a true reflection of the character. Yvonne is a spoiled little brat who never thinks twice. He solely relies on money for his happiness, and when that even slightly bores him, he will rapidly turn to anything else to fill that void. Drugs, sex, and now, Annie. Yvonne also never takes anything seriously and plays life out like a game, and Annie is, unfortunately, his newest one. She's his American dream. In case you couldn't tell, Yvonne was never in love with her, just the idea of her. Like, he literally plays Annie like a game, and he doesn't even bother fighting for her because he never loved her. And that's proven when his parents tell him that playtime is over, because he just gives up. I also think that one of the best lines and moments in the film is when Yvonne finally talks to Annie before entering the plane. At that point, Annie is still in denial about getting divorced. She keeps saying that her and Yvonne love each other and that this is indeed a real marriage. She even introduced herself to Yvonne's mom, saying how happy she was to be a part of this family. Yvonne has remained quiet about his feelings, partially due to the alcohol and lack of sleep, but after a long time, he finally talks to Annie about everything he's been feeling.
So we're getting a divorce.
Of course! Are you stupid?
This one line shatters everything for Annie. The fantasy is gone, and Yvonne is just staring at her in disbelief. Of course they're getting divorced. Of course he's going back home. Their marriage was nothing more than a game to him, and he played her hard. Again. Fuck this guy. There's also a message here about what insane wealth does to you. Like, you don't view or treat humans like they're humans. They're nothing more to you than objects or pawns in a game. Yvonne doesn't just do this to Annie, he's done this to everyone who works for him. Toros makes it clear that this whole situation isn't the first time Yvonne has done something bad. He's always making messes for other people to clean up, and he won't stop until his parents tell him to, because he's a child. Again, Mark did an incredible job. I can't believe he's only a year younger than me. Like, holy fuck, what am I doing with my life? Igor. Oh man. So it's clear from the beginning that Anora's life is lacking one major thing: genuine connection. Yes, she has some friends, but their relationship isn't that intimate as far as I know. Her relationship with her sister is also pretty strained. Her parents live far away. Her life is pretty cold and distant with no genuine partner or friendship. Now here comes Igor. Igor is actually kind of similar to Anora. They're both in the same class of wealth, using their bodies in service of the wealthier. I feel like he could see part of himself in her and also understand her struggles. I think he definitely has difficulty expressing his empathy, but his heart is in the right place. His last scene is just... man. Like, when he gives her the ring, my heart dropped. And at this point in the film, if it's not clear already, like, we know he cares for her. Igor may be the first person in Anora's life that cares for her without wanting or expecting anything in return. By just caring for her, not objectifying her, and tolerating her physical temper, she can finally be vulnerable for the first time in the film, and probably the first time in years for her. While reflecting on this movie, I noticed that Igor is like the second main character, honestly. I don't know, in my first viewing, I thought he was just a side character. Probably was because he wasn't screaming as much as the other goons, but I don't know, his character just really stuck with me. So, I have a story to tell. It relates to Anora, I swear. Just be patient with me, please. You know Wicked, the massive movie that came out in 2024? I saw it 3 times. Yep. You heard me, 3 times. This is not by choice, by the way. One of the perks of working at a movie theater is that I get free tickets. So my friends and family have been taking advantage of that. I'm saying this because after watching Wicked 3 times, I noticed that the movie's colors are pretty dull. I think I mentioned this in my review of the film. Go watch that if you haven't, by the way. There is way too much natural light happening. I think it's a fun idea in theory, but the execution kind of drains the color and excitement out of the land of Oz. And it's even more drastic when you compare it to the original Wizard of Oz. The lack of color can also be distracting at times, especially during the musical numbers, because that's when you expect it to be the most vibrant and colorful. Now, I'm telling this story because I'm finally realizing the impact of colors in a film. They evoke so much emotion and can tell a story of their own. Watching Anora was like a massive wake-up call for me because, oh my gosh, every shot looked so beautiful, the colors are insanely vibrant and set the mood of the scene so well. So yeah, film is a visual medium and color grading really impacts the story. The film is funny. Oh my god, I had a great time watching and laughing my ass off because there is a lot of dark moments in the film. It gets pretty heavy at times, but it's also balanced out by the comedy, and I think that's a testament to how great the writing is. But it's also a testament to the comedic timing of the actors, especially Igor. Like, the man's awkward delivery and comedic timing is something that I find harder to do than just screaming and being loud and going on a raging monologue. Like, think about how much you have to express with such limited dialogue and movement. If you couldn't tell, I really liked Igor in his performance. I always believe that comedies are actually the most tragic, and this film definitely proves that point. The story is absolutely heartbreaking and breathtaking, and I'm still thinking about it way after my initial viewing. And that's why Anora is my favorite film to come out of 2024. Thank you so much for watching. Again, these are just my opinions. Feel free to comment yours, just remember to be respectful. Follow me on Instagram and Letterboxd to see what I'm up to and what I'm watching. I love you all. Whether you're new to this channel or have been here since day one, thank you for a great 2024. Working on this channel has brought me so much joy and also a lot of hope in my life. So thank you guys. So yeah, subscribe if you want. Have a great 2025. Bye.